Hello, everyone. Welcome to UDSB Community Voices, where we share insightful dialogues with our students and staff from the University of Dundee School of Business. I am your host. I'm lecturer in economics at the School of Business here at the University of Dundee. And I'm delighted today to introduce to you one of our alumni, TPG students, Jisoo. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here today.
To start off, could you please share a bit about your background and, in particular, what brought you to the University of Dundee? Why do you choose to study with us?
And so I'll just go about my background, per my undergraduate university degree. And after that, I moved back to Lagos, where I started to work in the marine oil and gas industry. So I did that for about 2 years before moving on to the University of Dundee. So importantly, I would say that I chose the University of Dundee for many reasons, but I would say importantly, just to have that mix of living in Scotland and also the opportunity to also access other areas of the United Kingdom. But importantly, I would say that I wanted to be in an environment where I could get guidance and also an environment that promotes academic learning and also a blend of every other activity just to make me enjoy my master's degree. So that's why I chose the University of Dundee.
Thank you. Wonderful. I think we share some kind of similar experience that I traveled with me to come here to Dundee to do my PhD. So yes, but how has your Nigeria cultural background influenced your experience as a student here in Dundee?
That's a very interesting question. So just being Nigerian is that you have a sense of determination. You also always strive for excellence, and you also want to be in a communal space. So I think that really influenced just studying here at the University of Dundee because, of course, I was coming from a background whereby you always have to push. And I would say that moving here to Dundee is quite different, but the standards, of course, are still very high. And I would say that just having such determination just from back home and then being able to couple this determination and a quest for excellence, I think it's helped me be more of a better student here on campus.
Excellent. Well, cultural adjustment, sometimes to an environment where you come from is sometimes could be very challenging. But one of the things is helping us indirectly to see that as a source of strength to become resilient, to become adaptive to any kind of environment you find yourself in. What have been some of the most significant cultural adjustment or challenges that you have faced and how did you overcome them as part of your academic journey?
Interesting. I think the first cultural adjustment when I moved here 2 years ago, or almost 2 years ago, was the language. Because, of course, there's still this Scottish accent, which over time I now totally understand. I think that would be number one. And secondly would be our style of writing, because I did study in Ghana. I have never had that quote-unquote Nigerian academic way of writing or even thinking. So just moving here was just totally different. But I would say I just had to adjust because first, there's a large number of support here on campus from the academic team, from the University of Dundee School of Business. So I was able to just quickly bridge the gap from just studying in Africa and then moving on to the United Kingdom. So I would say that, of course, the weather was a problem, the learning style was a problem, and the language too. But it gets better, trust me, it does get better. Yeah.
Of course, you have been quite very how you adapted to those changes and the circumstances. I studied in Nigeria for my bachelor degree. I know how the system differs, where you access here in a lot of different ways. Writing is part of it, as you just mentioned. And the fact that you have been in Ghana and also quite very interesting how you've been able to adapt to different environments. My next question, how has the university supported you? You made a mention about some of this academic skills center, the School of Business have helped you in a particular. Can you give an example where you will get some support to help you address some of this cultural adjustment in your studies?
So like I did mention earlier, there are loads of them here on campus, so you need to ask, right? So I would say that just you are making this first adventure to come up for your master's, once you settle in, begin to immerse yourself into the culture and of course all of the facilities that are available for you on campus. I like to cite like an example of the time when I first moved in. So at a particular time, they were hosting, like the university was, they were hosting like a couple of seminars to just help people with academic writing and academic learning. And I would like to highlight like a particular time when I was writing my dissertation. So we had the opportunity of having Dr. Abubakar and also other doctors that did come on board to help us, to guide us, to teach us the rudiments of academic writing, of critical thinking, and most importantly, to ensuring that all of your references are all sorted out, just writing a compelling story. So I would say that there are lots of examples, but just to cite that particular instance with writing my dissertation and also just learning the structure of academic learning.
That's wonderful to hear. I'm very kind of you to mention some of the good things we do here at the University of Dundee, making the environment quite very welcoming for all our students. And as someone's also from Nigeria, and also as the current senior advisor of studies at the School of Business, I am aware about the importance of making the learning environment enriching and inclusive, where voices of different people, especially the minority and underrepresented groups, are not only valued but also respected. What advice can you give to people from such, of course, minority groups or blacks like ourselves that comes consider to come to study here with us, especially people coming from Nigeria? What kind of things can you advise them when they come here, the expectations, the things they should be able to do to excel?
I think importantly is that once moving out of your comfort zone, you need to have like a sense of self-identity. So in the sense that even from where you're moving from your comfort zone onto a different country, so developing a sense identity, it's so helpful and so important because of course you know that you are complete in your own self and you going on to a different zone or a different setting, just like in academics, is to have like an open mindset. Because of course you are in the UK where you're very multicultural, of course multicultural community here at the University of Dundee. It's so important that you embrace diversity, firstly, and also remove any sort of misconceptions or any bias that you have about any particular race and just be welcoming and have an open mindset. Be ready to learn, be ready to unlearn, and also relearn new sorts of behaviors or new ways of managing things.
Excellent advice, Tisa. As we wrap up our episode, what any other thing else would you like to share about your experience as a student here at the University of Dundee? Just to wrap up.
I would say most importantly is that just getting things right. If you know you have to arrive early in class, try and arrive early in class. If, for instance, you wouldn't be able to turn in your assignment beforehand, you should inform people. Don't just keep it to yourself. And I would just say that you engage as much as possible, because during my time, I was able to form like a society whereby students from my background, African students, and also students that really appreciate Africa as a continent, just providing like training opportunities, mentorship opportunities, and also advice on getting a job. So just being able to set up that society and community has really helped me as a person, shaping my leadership skill. So it's not just coming onto the university, but also picking up few skills, just around campus and, just researching as a master's student. And finally, I would say that you should always consider your mental health, always reach out, speak up. And if you're in need, you have loads of opportunities to connect with people here on campus, even the Dundee University Student Association. They're doing an amazing job, a fantastic job. So if you need any help, just ask. So the only thing restricting you or stopping you is just you asking.
Very, very good advice. I think we do have this at the school, a new campaign. We call it Be Proper. It's an acronym that stands for be present, be on time, be respectful, and so on. So it's something that we try to instill those kind of good principles in our students. Thank you, Chisom. It has been a great pleasure to have you in our show today. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank you.
watching, and see you next time where we bring most inspiring stories from our community voices.